My son's strange behavior. He hadn't touched his dinner. The plate of chicken sat untouched, cooling, while he just stared at the window as if something waited outside. "Eat, Tommy," I said once, then twice, but he didn't flinch. His small hands gripped the edge of the table as though anchoring himself against an unseen pole. His lips trembled, not from fear, but from expectation. Finally, he whispered, "Someone special is coming." The words clung to me like smoke. I leaned forward, studying his vacant eyes, the unnatural calm in his voice. 8 years old, but tonight he spoke like a man who knew a secret he wasn't supposed to carry. "Who?" I asked, but he only repeated, "Someone special." That evening the sound of tires crunching against gravel broke the silence. A black car stopped in front of our house. Its engine hummed, low and deliberate, like a beast waiting to be unleashed. Before I could rise from my chair, Tommy sprang to the door, faster than I'd ever seen him move. He knew. He had been waiting. The knock came. Sharp, controlled. A woman. Blonde hair, pale coat, her smile a weapon masked as kindness. She knelt, locking her gaze with his. "Hello, Tommy," she said softly. "It's time to tell Dad the truth about who you—" I froze. My heart tightened, fists clenched. Truth. The word echoed through me like a gunshot. And in that moment, I knew my life was about to split apart. The woman left without finishing her sentence. A phone call, urgent, pulled her away. But she left me with a detonator and no instructions. That night I watched Tommy sleep, his breathing steady, innocent, while my thoughts clawed through the silence. "Who you really?" The unfinished sentence gnawed at me. I remembered flashes of my wife, her late nights, her sudden need for privacy, her careful lies stitched together with affection I once believed was genuine. The blonde woman hadn't looked at me, not once. Her words weren't meant for me, they were meant for him, my son. But was he mine? The thought ripped through my chest. I wanted to dismiss it, push it back into the shadows where doubts belong. But her voice kept replaying. "It's time to tell Dad the truth." Truth. A word my wife always avoided when her phone buzzed past midnight. A word she buried beneath soft smiles and empty reassurances. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Rage is useless when it arrives too early. Instead, I studied, quietly, observing her laughter when she texted someone she called just a colleague. The way she guarded her phone, how she flinched when I stepped too close. The woman, the car, the message, they weren't accidents. Something had been hidden from me, buried in my own home, and now it was clawing its way to the surface. I began with small steps. A strand of blonde hair I found on Tommy's jacket. It wasn't his mother's. I sealed it, labeled it, and hid it. Next came the late-night records, my wife's phone bill, a number she called regularly, always around midnight, always for long stretches. I dialed it once, letting it ring. A man's voice answered. Calm, confident, too familiar. I hung up. The walls of my house no longer felt like mine. Each room whispered, each shadow accused. I watched my son more closely. His drawings at school, figures of a man and a woman, always with him in between. But the man's face, it never resembled me. I sent the hair to a lab, along with mine, along with Tommy's. A simple test, simple science. Science has no heart, it doesn't lie. While waiting, I carried myself like normal, smiling at my wife across the table, kissing her cheek before work, pretending ignorance. But inside, every second stretched taut, every laugh tasted bitter. Nights were the worst. Lying beside her, feeling her warmth, knowing it wasn't mine alone. My hand stayed still, though my mind strangled her 1,000 times. Suspicion had become my companion, cold, patient, faithful, and I waited for the truth to arrive. The envelope was thin, clinical, no ceremony, no hesitation, just numbers, just confirmation. 0%. No paternal match. Tommy wasn't mine. I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the words that stripped me of fatherhood. 8 years of bedtime stories, scraped knees, whispered good nights, all of it stolen. I wasn't his father. I was a placeholder. When she came home, she found me at the table. The report lay between us. Her smile collapsed the moment her eyes fell on it. Silence. Only her shallow breathing filled the room. Finally, I asked, "Who is he?" She broke. Tears, stammering apologies, a flood of words I didn't need. Names, memories, nights she thought I'd never know about. I didn't move, didn't raise my voice. I just watched her unravel. Every sob a confession, every tear a nail in the coffin of our life together. I already knew the truth. Now she did too. I didn't shout. I didn't strike. I simply stood, handed her the report, and said, "You'll explain this to him, not me." Her face drained of color. The thought of facing Tommy with the truth terrified her more than losing me. I left the room but stayed close enough to hear. Her voice cracked as she told him who his real father was, told him why the blonde woman had come. Tommy cried. Not for me, for her, for the lie she had forced into his small hands. When she tried to reach for him, he pulled away. I watched from the doorway, calm, silent, untouchable. The betrayal had devoured her, not me. The next morning I packed a single bag. Clothes, documents, nothing else. I didn't say goodbye. Goodbyes are for the guilty, for those still clinging to hope. I left the house quietly, as though I had never belonged there at all. Behind me, the walls crumbled, not with sound, but with truth. She would live with it, he would grow with it. And me? I walked away, lighter than I'd ever been. The truth didn't destroy me, it freed me. I was no longer father, no longer husband, no longer fool. Just a man who had finally stopped living someone else's lie. I didn't lose a family that night. I lost a cage.